Hi, here we go. I'm just recording this on my iPhone, so I hope the quality's okay. So yeah, my name's Paddy, and my personal brand is called SuperLogoBoy. The website's superlogoboy.com, and just searching SuperLogoBoy on all the social media channels, you'll find me on there. So I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I decided to specialise in branding, and specifically personal branding, but I also work with corporations around the world to produce brands too. So I'll talk to you a little bit about how I work, and then I'll talk afterwards specifically how I worked with Linda on the Platinum Players brand. So I say I'm a brand specialist. What does that mean? Okay. I would say a brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So if I say Coca-Cola to you, it's how you feel about that brand. So you're probably initially thinking red, you're going to think of the colour, you're going to think of the logo and the drink, you're going to think of the taste. Maybe you prefer it to Pepsi, maybe you don't, so you're going to have a perception based around that. All these different feelings and emotions are going to come to your mind based around the experiences that you've had with the product. So this is the idea I like to get across with a brand. So your brand isn't your logo. Your logo is a representation of the brand. So we need to really get the idea for your brand nailed down first. The logo is something that comes second, which I'll explain a little later when I'm talking about how I worked with Linda. So the way I work is to always start with a conversation, a free consultation, just to see if you know where it is you want to take your brand, if you've got something unique, if you've got a story to tell, if you've got a problem for a customer that you're solving. You need an angle with a brand. You can't just go and put something out there and do what everyone else is doing and hope that people are just going to buy it. It may work to an extent, but it's not a strategy where I like to look long game. I want to create brands that are going to be here in years to come. Even if they evolve into something different, I think the foundation needs to be strong, and we need to start with the reason why this brand is out there and why it's being created. So the initial stages of the project are going back and forth, conversations, Skype calls, emails, where we really drill down to find out what's the message we're trying to put out there and who are we trying to speak to. Like who is your customer? What brands do they associate with? Do they drive Mercedes cars? Are they more into Fords? Do they shop at Tesco? Do they shop at Harvey Nichols? Where do they go on holiday? Their buying decisions with other products are going to dictate and influence how we sell to them, because people tend to buy in the same ways. Like, a couple of the reasons why I try to highlight to people is if you've got a product or a service that solves a problem and takes a pain away for a customer, then you need to play to that. So let me give an example. If I could even give myself as an example. So if your business, your brand isn't resonating with your customers, if you're not getting the attention you want, maybe you need to look at your brand strategy. Maybe you need a logo that's memorable and that actually has some kind of meaning behind it, so people notice you and remember you, and then we'll talk about you. So that's me taking a pain away. And a product that could, and the other thing that you could offer a customer is to take them towards one of their goals and help them to become a better version of themselves. So that's maybe what the Juice Plus product does. The Juice Plus product would improve your health when taken correctly, and it can also improve your life if you kind of turn it into a business too. So if you can do both of these, then you've got a couple of different angles to use, maybe for sub-demographics within your target audience. That's maybe getting a few steps ahead, but we can consider that later on. So yeah, we need to kind of solve a problem, or we need to offer a solution to something that will take your customer to a place where they want to be. So that's basically how I work. I design logos, but we always start with a conversation, and we've got a bigger picture in mind. We're not just doing something pretty that you can go and show your friends and say, I've got some new business cards, look at me. It's bigger than that. We're thinking, how do we create a business that's sustainable, that can grow, and that will provide me with the life I want to live? That's the kind of conversations I want to be having with people. And that's very much what Linda was about when we were speaking. She wasn't saying, I like logos that look like this. She wasn't saying things like, oh, I like this colour. We started very much by working out who the customer was, how we could solve their problem, and what people in the industry were doing that was maybe similar, or were people doing anything we could learn from, or is this something totally new? So we had that conversation, and the Platinum Players Business School emerged as a concept. I particularly like it because of the word players. Platinum obviously kind of has connotations with being premium, being aspirational, but players for me changed it into, it used the word gamification, which if you're not familiar with that, it means using game theory to learn and to encourage learning. So if you think of the Fitbit watch, my wife uses that. It allows you to monitor the number of steps you do in a day, the number of calories you consume, and you get this visualized on your smartphone with graphs, charts, and you can see your progress. So your health becomes a game and you try and improve your metrics to improve your overall health. And I think there's something about that idea that can be tied in with personal development and business growth, because I've not seen that done really at this scale at least. So I was excited to see what we could do with it. And from that starting point, we began to pad this out in a way where we had to try and speak to the individual who would be the target audience and look at what they wanted, look at the problems they were going to be facing, and look how the service that Linda had could improve their life. So the concept that we had was to break this down into 3 sections, which are learn, grow and create. And this is all to get on the path of becoming a leader. Because when you start a business, whether you like it or not, you are becoming a leader, even if you're a leader of one. This is something I learnt in business early on, that if I sat back and just was creative and just did logos and didn't worry about the managerial aspects of my business, like networking, like organising my invoicing and marketing my own services, if I didn't do that, then the logo work would dry up. So you have to learn how to become a business person, and it's not easy. There's dozens of books out there. Knowing where to start is very difficult, and having the experience of someone who's gone through this, who can put that knowledge into bite-sized information that's actionable, that you can try out and measure the progress from. That's the powerful message that we're trying to get across for the Platinum Players Business School. And we're basically really excited about where we can take this. I'm going to be working with Linda at the events that she runs. I'm going to be talking about branding, personal branding, and using your human side on social media to be able to sell. That's basically the way I win all my work, is through human-to-human conversations, online and offline, and the same rules apply on both. So that's the kind of information I want to be giving out there, and I think it ties very well with what Linda is doing too. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to bore you anymore. I'll wrap that up. Try and keep it under 8 minutes. Oops. Well, here we go. So if you want to get in touch, my name is Paddy. The website is superlogoboy.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. They're the best places to get me. Just search SuperLogoBoy, all one word, and you will find me. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions at all, drop me an email, say hello. I'm always happy to help. Peace.